Welcome, my name is Dr. Eric Lander from the Department of Psychology at Boise State University. This is a brief Jing video about SPSS tips in using descriptive statistics. Now, descriptive statistics are measures of central tendency like mean, median, and mode, and then there are measures of variability like range, variance, and standard deviation. I've gone ahead and switched over to an SPSS data file. In fact, you can look down here at the corner. It'll show you I'm looking at the data view. As a quick reminder, the rows are individuals, and this is a pretty long survey. You can see the rows that way. The columns are individual variables. If you forget about what an individual variable stands for, you can just hover over it in SPSS, and then it'll actually pop up with what the actual question represents. If you want to know what these individual items and responses, like this 3 right here, you could click on this toe tag. It's actually value labels, and it would remind you that they clicked on neither agree nor disagree. Alright, by the way, give you a quick peek at the variable view. You can see all the different variables in the survey, the questions that the students were asked to fulfill here. I created some composite variables here at the end, things like academic locus of control and grade-oriented behaviors and things like that. You can also see some familiar variables: age, gender, year in school, GPA. I asked students if they were a transfer student or not, etc. Alright, so let's go ahead and get ready to start the analysis. I'm going to go back to Data View. I'm going to click on Analyze, and then I'm going to come down here to Descriptives, and I'm going to select Frequencies. Alright, now I'm going to reset this really quickly. So if you'll look at this, you'll see that this listing over here in the left frame, these are all the possible items in your SPSS data file, and these are the variables that you want to calculate your descriptive statistics upon. Notice we haven't moved anything over here yet, and we can't even click on OK because we haven't moved anything over there yet. And so I'm going to go towards the bottom of this file, and I'm going to move over some stuff for our descriptive statistics. I'm going to move over age and current cumulative GPA. I'm also going to move over a couple of these composite variables, grade-oriented behaviors, which gives us a score, and also academic locus of control. Now I'm going to move over a couple that wouldn't make sense intuitively, but you'll see why we do it in the analysis. I'm going to move over your gender and your year in school. Now why don't those make sense? Because those are nominal scale variables, those last two, and the average of a nominal scale variable is relatively meaningless. Alright, now I'm ready to tell it what statistics do I actually want. I want the mean, median, and mode for measures of central tendency. And for measures of variability, I'll take standard deviation, range, and variance. And I can also select minimum and maximum. And I'm going to go ahead and do that because I'll show you where that could be really handy later on. I'm going to click on Continue. I'm going to click on OK. A new screen is going to open up. This is called the output file. You can save this just like the data set on your USB memory stick or flash drive. And it's pretty darn quick. And so here are the 6 variables that I put in that right frame under variables. And you can see it gives me mean, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, range, minimum, and maximum. So for example, the average age is 26.89. The standard deviation is 9.08. The modal age is 20, the most frequently occurring age in my data set. The youngest person was 19, the oldest was 65. So you can see where minimum and maximum can be really helpful. The average GPA was 3.08. Here are a couple of my composite variables. And then here's gender and year in school. Now these really don't make too much sense as they are, but let me show you why I included them. If we scroll down in the frequency analysis, we also get frequency tables. And so here's a nice little table of all the possible ages that turned up and the frequency of each one. So there were 50 of the 51-year-olds, there were 2 of them, and they make up 2.9% of those answering with age. Current GPA, you can see I don't have the decimal points on there, but I could show you that. Grade-oriented behavior is one of my composite variables. It looks like 21 was the modal score. There were 12 people who scored a 21. Academic locus of control, the same idea there. But now here's why I included gender and year in school. The means and the descriptive statistics don't make sense, but these frequency tables do. So of those replying to gender, there were 69.4% females and 30.6% males. For year in school, there were 5.6% sophomores. In fact, there were no freshmen. You can actually go ahead and save this file if you wanted to, and then you should print it at a printer when you get a chance. You've got to print from an SPSS computer. That is, you can't save this file and print it at home if you don't have SPSS at home. So make sure you print it in the lab where you're working. I can go back to the data set now, and that's it for me and this SPSS Jing video on descriptive statistics.